Imagine you are the head of the United States Cybersecurity Agency. Your entire job, your one job, is to protect America's digital infrastructure from threats, from hackers, from data leaks, from people doing stupid things with sensitive information online. Now imagine you take that sensitive information and you upload it to a public AI chatbot. Not a secure government system, not an encrypted internal tool, a public chatbot. One that over 700 million people have access to. The head of US cybersecurity. I genuinely don't know whether to laugh or cry, so I'm gonna do both. Alright, let's get into it. So, first, who is Madhu Gottumukkala? And how did he end up running America's Cyber Defense Agency? Gottumukkala was appointed as CISA's deputy director and became its acting director in May 2025. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, is the federal body responsible for protecting US government networks, critical infrastructure, and basically making sure the country doesn't get digitally kneecapped by foreign adversaries. It's a serious job, a consequential job, the kind of job where you'd expect the person in charge to have a pretty solid grasp of, basic digital hygiene? Spoiler alert, that's not quite how this played out, otherwise this video would have stopped right here. So here's what reportedly happened. At some point in summer of 2025, CISA says mid-July, other reports suggest it may have been as late as early August, Gottumukkala uploaded multiple government documents to the public version of ChatGPT. Not just any documents, by the way. Documents marked for official use only. FOUO. That's a real designation. It means this information is sensitive. It's not for public release, and you should handle it with care. And he uploaded them to public ChatGPT. And here's where it gets good. Because ChatGPT wasn't just some tool that DHS hadn't gotten around to thinking about. DHS had actively blocked ChatGPT for most of its employees. They had made a deliberate policy decision. Public AI tools are a data risk. Our people should not be using them for government work. They even built their own internal AI tool, it's called DHS Chat, specifically so employees could use AI without their data leaving federal networks. So the policy was clear. The alternative was available, and the head of the agency reportedly went around all of it. Now, to be fair, and I'm going to be fair here briefly, Gottumukkala didn't just sneak onto ChatGPT in secret. According to reports, he actually pushed for and received a special temporary exception to use the public version. He asked for permission and he got it. Which somehow makes this both better and worse at the same time. Better because at least he wasn't hiding it. Worse because someone at DHS looked at the head of Cybersecurity Agency asking to use a public AI tool for government documents and said, yeah, sure, go ahead. Now, that's a 2-for-1 failure right there. Very efficient. I like it. So what happened next? Well, the uploads triggered multiple automated security alerts. DHS has systems specifically designated to catch this kind of thing. Tools that flag when sensitive data is being sent somewhere it shouldn't go. Those systems worked exactly as intended. If you've ever worked at any sort of enterprise that has a layer of security, you'd know this as called DLP, which is Data Loss Prevention. Now this is a little ironic, isn't it? The automated security system at the Cybersecurity Agency caught the head of Cybersecurity Agency doing something the Cybersecurity Agency's own policy said not to do. That was a mouthful. The robots were doing the job. The human at the top, less so. After the alerts fired, a whole parade of senior DHS officials got involved. We're talking the acting general counsel, the DHS Chief Information Officer, the CISA Chief Information Officer, and CISA's Chief Counsel. They all reviewed the uploads, assessed the potential harm, and then sat down with Gottumukkala to have what I can only imagine was a very awkward conversation about proper data handling. What I would have done to be a fly on the wall in that meeting room. Now imagine being the general counsel of the Department of Homeland Security and having to explain to the head of Cybersecurity agency why you shouldn't put government documents into a public chatbot. Now look, I've been having fun with this, and honestly, the story earns it. But let me be straight with you for a second, because there's a real issue underneath the comedy. When you upload something to the public version of ChatGPT that does go to OpenAI, and OpenAI's public platform has historically used inputs to improve its models, that means sensitive government contracting information, documents marked for official use only, could potentially have been fed into a system that 700 million people interact with. If you've been following my channel for a while or had come across one of my earlier videos, I actually covered a leak that ChatGPT got in trouble for, where somebody would put into Google site:/openai.chatgpt.com/ put in a keyword like scary, and it would show you everybody's conversation that they had shared with like a private friend or a family member, and you would be able to go through their entire thread conversation that had that one keyword in it, and it would essentially unlock a Pandora's box. Now, OpenAI have since fixed that issue. However, that is one example of something that happened historically and doesn't mean it won't happen again in a different way. Anyways, I digress. Let's get back to the story. CISA's official response was that the use was short-term and limited, and that there were controls in place. They didn't elaborate on what those controls were, and as of the time of reporting, no one has confirmed whether OpenAI was ever notified or asked to delete the data. That's not a small thing. That's the kind of gap that keeps security professionals up at night. Because once data is in a system like that, you don't just get to take it back. And this wasn't some junior employee who didn't know better. This was a person at the top. The person whose job it is to set the standard for everyone else. When the person enforcing the rules is the one breaking them, the rules stop meaning anything. Oh, and by the way, because the story apparently wasn't enough on its own, the ChatGPT incident wasn't even the only controversy swirling around Gottumukkala during this period. According to Politico, he also allegedly failed a counterintelligence polygraph test in summer 2025. And the fallout from that test reportedly led to 6 CISA career staffers being placed on administrative leave. 6 people put on leave because of a polygraph test that DHS later turned around and called unsanctioned. They accused the staff of misleading Gottumukkala about whether he even needed to take it. So to recap, the head of the Cybersecurity agency allegedly failed a spy test. 6 of his own staff got suspended over it, and then DHS said that the test shouldn't have happened in the first place. I'm not saying this is chaos, I'm just saying if you wrote this as a TV show, the network would send it back and say, tone it down, it's not believable. The story broke publicly in late January 2026, approximately 3 months ago, and the reaction was about what you'd expect. Senator Chuck Grassley sent a formal letter to CISA pressing the agency for answers. Representative Benny Thompson cited the incident as evidence that the government has dangerously weak AI policies. And the broader cybersecurity community, the people who spend their careers telling organizations not to do exactly this, were, let's say, not impressed. CISA's official line was that the use was authorized, limited, and controlled. They leaned into the Trump administration's broader push to promote AI adoption across the government, which is a real thing. There has been genuine policy push to get federal agencies using AI tools more aggressively. I mean, look at the whole Department of War, Anthropic, OpenAI chaos that's currently happening right now. But there's a difference between use AI and upload sensitive government documents to a public platform that 500 million people have access to. That distinction matters a lot. In late February 2026, Gottumukkala was reassigned. He moved to a new role as Director of Strategic Implementation at DHS headquarters. A new acting director, Nick Anderson, took over at CISA. DHS put out a statement saying Gottumukkala had done a remarkable job in a thankless task and would continue his work to save taxpayer money in his new role. Remarkable job, air quotations. I'll leave that one there. So there's been no formal disciplinary action that has been publicly confirmed so far. No word on whether the data was ever recovered or deleted from OpenAI's system. And CISA still doesn't have a permanent director. The Trump administration has renominated someone for the role, but as of now, the seat is still warm. Here's the thing that actually gets me about the story. Every single day, companies get fined, employees get fired, and organizations get dragged through the press for mishandling data. Regular people lose their jobs for sending the wrong file to the wrong email address. The head of the US Cybersecurity Agency uploaded sensitive government documents to a public AI chatbot, a tool his own agency had blocked for everyone else, triggered multiple security alerts, and got reassigned to a different government job. And the documents? We still don't know exactly what was in them. We don't know if OpenAI was ever told. We don't know if that data is sitting in a training set somewhere right now. That's not a punchline. That's the actual situation. So here's what I want to know from you. If this had been a junior employee, not the director, not someone with a special exception, what do you think would have happened to them? Drop it in the comments, because I think we all know the answer, and I think it's worth saying it out loud. Thanks as always for tuning in, stay safe, and as always, remember to be kind to each other.